Hello techies, welcome to IT Tech Solution. In this video, we will see how we can do small changes or maybe create a new step function, not directly from the console, but from the VS Code. So we will install a plugin AWS Toolkit, and using that we can create or we can modify the production step functions. So the thing is, the step function which is already running, suppose this is my production environment, so I should not directly come here in the console and change the code, right? So for that we have to follow the process of entire life cycle, right? So we need to clone the repository, and in that repository we will have a code for this infrastructure as well. So these days, right, every AWS infrastructure is as part of code, so we don't have to create these resources manually. For all of these, we can use CDK, either CDK or maybe Terraform. So using those infrastructure as a code solutions, we deploy these things. So the project structure, if you see, so that is why the point is we should not or we will not change anything directly from the console. Everything has to be version controlled using a Git or whatever version controlling your project will be using. So without that, we should not come directly and update here anything. For that, we'll be using this AWS Toolkit. And why we will be using AWS Toolkit is similar to what we have seen here, right? If we change any code here, we can visualize how will be the workflow. But the same thing, if I simply do it in my VS Code without any toolkit, I will not be getting any visualization, or I'll be like in a confused way, like whether whatever changes I am doing is all correct or not. So I'll not be able to rectify or validate it, right? So for that, this AWS toolkit is very handy. So I hope this entire reason for using AWS Toolkit is clear. So we'll jump over to see how we can install AWS Toolkit, and then we'll just use for a sample step function, and we'll change something and see how it reflects there. So here I have just created a basic project structure just to explain how the things looks like in the real world. So if you see the main project, right, it will have your application. So there might be a folder called as app, application, or whatever, where all the Python codes and other scripts will be placed. And from here, using like Docker image or maybe directly also, we can refer these codes into from the Terraform code and then create Lambda out of it. So code, it will refer from these application folders, and then it will create the Lambda functions as per the code we will define in the resources folder. So the second folder is AWS resources. These will contain my all Terraform codes. So here I will not explain any Terraform code right now. These are like just dummy structure. So in these Terraform codes, I'll be writing some codes which will create a Lambda function, and it will refer to the code or the script which is there in this path. So those things we can do using this Terraform code. So we can create all the infrastructures. Similarly, I will have one more Terraform code for my step function, where I will define the step function. I will refer to a template. So this the step function dot asl dot json, right? This is the template. This is the template which is exactly same as the one we deployed. So whenever, that is why Git versioning is very important. So whatever code we will be having, we will be pushing this code to the environment, and we will have the deployment. So whatever changes we do here will come and reflect here. So we'll not change anything here. We have to do the changes here in this code, and then we have to just deploy this git push and commit and push. It will start the CI/CD pipelines, and all the resources will get created whatever we have mentioned. So maybe in some other videos I will explain all those Terraform codes and other things, but just to give an idea, I'm just explaining this project structure now. So with this, we have to now suppose add a new state, right? So here, if I want to add it, I will not be very comfortable to add it. I will not know what is happening. If there are errors, I'll not be able to make out like what is the error or how the workflow will be coming here. While if I just do the same thing here, I will be able to visualize it. Let's say if I just want to add one more pass state, right? If I do it here, I will know that this is my uh, changes. So if I just add a pass state here, additional pass state, you will see that it will reflect here. So something some errors are there, but yeah, at least you can see pass one got added. So I will be able to know that no, this pass one did not get added as I expected. I want to add it after this pass state. So those things is very easy to visualize when we are doing it in the console with this studio. But we can't, I mean, we should not change here anything. So that is why AWS has provided the toolkit for each of these IDs. We have toolkits for IntelliJ, we have for VS Code as well. So we'll install that toolkit, and using that, we will edit it and see how it works. So first of all, we have to come to the settings. Here, as we install any extensions, we'll go to extensions. We'll search for AWS Toolkit. You will see that AWS Toolkit from Amazon. This is the official toolkit. I will just install it. Okay, so once it is installed, we will have to connect it. So now if you see, it is installed, and we'll also see one plugin has come here with the name of AWS. So now if I click on this AWS, it will open the Explorer. So there are other things as well, like Amazon Q, Code Whisperer, and CDK. CDK is nothing but code as infrastructure, infrastructure as code. So CDK or Terraform I was talking about, so we can have that here. Code Catalyst and all is like machine driven, some additional features, development tools actually. So those things are provided by AWS. So we are more interested in Explorer. So here, as you can see, now we have this Explorer, but we don't see anything. For that, we will have to select a connection. So we'll just go to add a new connection. Okay, so I'll just go here. Now I am interested in AWS Explorer, so let's sign in with IAM role credentials. We have two options: sign in with SSO. Many companies, they provide their own SSO URL, so you can use that and put your URL here, and then you need to give your user ID and password. For me, I'll just use this IAM roles and credentials to connect to my AWS. It will ask for me the secret access key and secret key. I'll provide that. So let's just see. I'll give my profile name and access key. So from our IAM roles, we can get this access key. So just go to IAM roles access key and create a new access key. Save it. And once it is saved, you can use that same access key and secret access here. So I'll just quickly copy the secret access key and the secret key. I will just copy paste this secret key. I'll copy from here and paste it here. Now I'll just do add a profile. So this is added, and now you can see it connected to my AWS account. Okay, with the help of my user credentials. Now you can see in Explorer, now all the things are coming right here. US East one, North Virginia default one it is taking, but we can again add any regions if we want, right? We can add a new connection as well. If we have multiple accounts or multiple connections, we can do that. We can add a region or remove a region as well. So if I just go here and if I say to add a region, I can do here. So connect to AWS is some another account. If you want to connect, show or hide regions, right? This is was we can select any region that I want, and we can deselect anything. But for now, I think I'm okay with US East one. So here you can see now all the AWS resources that I have. is listed down here. If I just expand this, you will see that it will also come here. So lambda, it is showing that lambda 1, lambda 2, and lambda 3. So in my account, these are the test lambda that I had created. We can invoke on AWS. We can download this. We can upload a lambda function, copy URL, all those things we can do here. Okay, so specifically we will use this for development of step functions, because that is a little complex way to uh, develop and maintain different versions, right? So we have to do, it is a recommended way by AWS as well, that we should use this AWS toolkit. It will be helpful for the developers. Let's see how that will help us to develop the things. So here I will go to the step functions. If you see here, it will list down all my step functions. So we can see that these are the two step functions. So I just will do render a graph for this step function. So as soon as I do render a graph, you will see that code will come, and corresponding graph, the workflow will also come here. It is exactly same which we saw here. Okay, I tried to change this, but this was the code, and this is the step function which is copied or synced with my VS Code. And now the same diagram we can see in my VS Code as well. Now it's easy, right? If I just want to change anything here, I can add any state, I can edit it, right? So for example, if I just want to add a pass state, as I was doing from the console, same thing I can do from now locally. So this is a local development environment now. So here I would say, suppose let's say I want to add a new block as pass one. Okay, next, next would be, instead of parallel, I would say pass one. Okay, I would say pass one here, and same pass one I need to put here. So you can see I was able to add a new state here. Similarly, any state I can edit, and I can add it here, and I can simultaneously visualize what would be the impact of my code change. So once we are satisfied that, yeah, this is the workflow I wanted to create, it has been created successfully, I will copy all this code from here, and then I can paste it to my template that I have created for my code, right? This is the clone of the production. I want to change it now. So whatever I created earlier, I will simply copy paste that change here, and it will reflect, once I deploy that, it will reflect into my AWS account as well. So this way, once this change is done, I will just commit it. I will just commit it, deploy it, let the CI/CD pipeline run. It will deploy all the infrastructure to my AWS account, and this will you will see that it will get reflected here. The code will also get changed accordingly. So right now I don't have a CI/CD pipeline set up in my system, so I'll not be able to demonstrate that. But main purpose of this video was to demonstrate the secret using this secret access and the access key, how we can connect to the AWS toolkit and do our development specifically for step function. And this is a recommended way that we should use to develop or do any changes in the step function. So I hope this was useful for you. If you feel I am posting these useful videos and is really benefiting you, I would request to please subscribe the channel so that you don't miss any future videos that I'll be posting. So until then, have a nice day. Bye bye.